Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. We are doing these extended updates here on 11 Alive Plus as we have some heavy rain that is moving through our area. We have the flood risk around, and even in parts of West Georgia, that flood risk is being elevated with a flash flood warning that has been issued for multiple counties here in parts of West Georgia. I'm going to break that down for you coming up here. But first, you can see over North Georgia and increasing coverage of rain in the area, also increasing the intensity of the rain that's coming down. A lot of moderate and heavy rain. You'll also see that we have plenty of lightning in our area. Now, these storms aren't classified as severe storms. We don't have winds at 57 miles an hour or greater. We don't have large hail with this, so it's not classified as severe storms, but it is some really heavy rain and a lot of lightning here. You can see around Atlanta, down to the south along the I-85 corridor here, north of that, that's where we have most of this rain that's coming down. And the heaviest stuff is on the north side. You can see how some of these showers are extending into the downtown area, into the perimeter here on the north side. On the west side, it is more moderate rain going into parts of Douglas County and also Carroll County. Look at that green polygon. I'm going to show you more about that in just a second. That's where we have the new flash flood warning that was just issued. But you can see that heavy rain that has been coming down on the west side. More heavy rain is expected there too. Here it is live, where you can see the lighter rain on the north side, heavier rain to the west, and then even heavier with thunder and lightning through parts of Bartow County, moving into Cherokee County. Now, here's this green polygon right here. I know that's hard to see, so I'm going to take off the radar for just a moment so you can see that green polygon, including Haralson County, Polk County, Paulding County, and also Bartow County here. That's where we have this flash flood warning in effect until 3:45, as we've already seen some pretty high rain amounts, but those rain amounts are only going to get higher. That could cause some flash flooding in that area. Here you see closer to the city, on the north side, generally north of I-20 inside the perimeter, we have some light rain that's been coming down. And then there again is that area with that heavier rain there on the west side that's prompting that flash flood warning. I really think that more counties will be added into a flash flood warning as we continue through the nighttime hours here tonight. We're also looking at that heavier rain. Look at all the lightning here going from the Cedartown area over toward Canton. Plenty of lightning in association with that continuing to push on through. And then we also have the weather conditions that are rather strong here and heavy up to the north in Pickens County, Dawson County, up toward northeast Georgia, that heavier rain continuing to move through too. You can see that here up toward Gilmer County, Suches, White County near Helen and Mossy Creek and Cleveland, Hall County, north end of Lake Lanier, getting in on that heavy rain and also the thunder and lightning. And this is going to keep feeding in here too. More of these storms back into Alabama. That'll move into Cleburne and Randolph County. And then that fills in over North Georgia. The south side not seeing as much action right now, but you're not in the clear. You're going to see more of this rain that's moving in. We're specifically watching areas in South Alabama producing severe weather there that have the potential to move into areas on the south side that could produce some storms there a little bit later. So again, here's an overview of that entire area that we're watching. Many spots picking up that moderate and heavy rain. We have flood warnings in effect for northeastern parts of Alabama. We mentioned these in the west side of Georgia. And I expect that we're going to see more too. Look at all this lightning here. I'm going to put this into live mode for just a second and query this lightning north of that tornado watch here. So you can see here the amount of lightning that we're talking about. I'm not going to quite get to that tornado watch area. I'm going to do really just more of North Georgia. We've got about 104 lightning strikes for North Georgia and northern Alabama. If we added that on the south side in central Alabama, that would be a lot more lightning strikes that are moving through those spots right now. So very active as far as heavy rain and active as far as seeing a lot of flashes of lightning and hearing those rumbles of thunder. Look down more into central and south Alabama and central and southern parts of Mississippi. That's where we have these additional strong storms that are moving through. This is a new tornado watch that now extends through much of South Alabama. It stops right here at the Georgia line. This is going to be in effect until about 3 or 4 in the morning, depending on if it's Central Time or Eastern Time here. But as these storms continue to move through South Alabama, they have the potential to cause some tornadoes there. We did earlier have numerous tornado warnings in parts of Southwest Alabama and also into areas of Mississippi. Right now, no active tornado warnings, but it is possible that some of those could develop. So this is the whole system that's moving through, and these are the repeated rounds of rain that are pushing through. That's why we have the flood watch in effect, and now those flood warnings on the west side. And you can see here, and again, really heavier rain there to the south of us. We have a couple of things in our favor. Number one, cooler air, more stable air over us in North Georgia. Still not going to block out the heavy rain, but we're hoping that the air is going to be stable enough that we don't have severe storms moving into our area. I'll show you that those temperature profiles in just a minute. Here is a look at that flash or the flood watch that is in effect. I want to put this on full screen so you can get a better look at that right now. And what we're going to be watching with that system, all of that you see in green is where we have the flood watch. The red is what I showed you earlier, where we have this flash flood warning right there in West Georgia, that other flash flood warning in parts of northwest or northeastern Alabama. So many of our areas are at least in that flood watch at this hour, meaning that conditions are likely, with more rain moving in, that we could see some flooding happening, and we're seeing some evidence of that already. Now, we also have the light green colors over here showing us some rivers and creeks that have flood warnings over in Rockdale County and into parts of Newton County, the Yellow River there, Big Creek in South Forsyth and North Fulton. We also have Sweetwater Creek over at Austell that has flood warnings, river flood warnings up in parts of northwest Georgia too. And all this additional rain that is moving in is just going to add to the runoff. The ground is saturated. We have seen about 2 1/3 inches of rain here in our area since midnight. Add another third to that, another third of an inch from yesterday. So that gives us over 3 inches of rain, or close to 3 inches of rain, and then more is going to be happening tonight before it all ends tomorrow morning. So that's why we continue with this weather impact alert for the lingering rain moving through. More rounds of rain that will be heavy at times. You have to watch for flooding, rising water, ponding on the roadways. We're getting numerous reports of that around our area. Our Danielle Moss is going to be out tonight in our weather impact vehicle. We've got a couple of spots that she's checking out where we have rising water that is causing some issues on the roads. Here's a live look at Rome. We showed you this a little bit earlier where we had some heavier rain coming down in Rome. Still coming down at a pretty good rate, but just not as heavy as it was earlier. This is our view right now at Georgia Tech, where we have the foggy conditions, low clouds, more rain coming through. You can see those raindrops hitting the lens, and as that kind of hits the light there, that's where you see some of that light being diffused by those raindrops. So it is just a soggy, nasty night. It is also cool out there too. Our low earlier today was 39 degrees. Our high today was 42. That's only a range of 3 degrees throughout the daytime hours today. We may see temperatures rising a little bit during the overnight hours as we're going to see the wedge that's sitting over us, giving that cooler air. That's going to start eroding overnight. Here's a look at the rainfall totals since midnight. Right at about 2 1/3 inches. We had 1/3 of an inch yesterday, so those numbers are rising with more rain that'll be coming in during the nighttime hours. Here's a look at those temperatures. 39 from 1 in the morning through 6 in the morning, 40 for a few hours, then we hit 41 for a few hours, and then 42 from noon today or 1 o'clock today through right now, where we're still holding at 42. And again, we may see those temperatures rise just a little bit overnight. Here's a look at the wedge. The wedge is what we call that easterly wind that brings us a shallow layer of colder air at the surface. That's what's going on right now. And this is a strong one, and this has been holding on. It's not getting scoured out, and it goes pretty far down to the south too. It's 43 right now in Peachtree City. We're 42 here. Cooler to the north and east, closer to that source of cooler air, where it's 39 in Clayton, Gainesville, Duluth, and also Athens. Look at LaGrange. They have moved up a couple of degrees. So that's showing us the signals that the slightly warmer air, now I'm just saying going up from 46 to 48, that's not a big deal, but that is just the beginning of this influence from the south and west that is going to try to scour out this cool, stable air that is over us right now. So that's going to be the big question during the overnight hours, is how much warm air from the south and west is going to be able to disrupt and scour out this cool, stable air. If it warms up some overnight, is that going to be warm enough to gain some instability to give us the potential for any storms? As we're watching this overnight, this model, thinking by 7 in the morning, we may be at 42, or actually 52 degrees here, with temperatures rising a little bit more. And then throughout the day tomorrow, rising back up into the 60s as we see the wind shift again and the sun starts to break through. So I'm thinking we'll be at about 47 at 7 in the morning, and still a low risk for a shower early tomorrow morning, depending on how early you go into work. You know, maybe if you go into work 5, 6 in the morning, you might still deal with some rain, but for the most part, that's going to be kicking out of here pretty early tomorrow. Clouds will hang with us for a while, but then during the afternoon, the sun will try to break through those clouds. It won't be complete bright sunshine, pure sunshine all day long, but just some sun mixing in with the clouds and temperatures getting up to around 61 degrees. So here is a look at our forecast track. We have these bands of heavy rain moving through our area right now. That's going to keep pushing through tonight. Here we go at 3 o'clock in the morning. We have this band that's going to push through. That is going to be the one that we're watching with the potential for additional thunder and lightning and heavy rain. And depending on if it gets a little more unstable down to the south and west, whether or not those areas near LaGrange or near Thomaston could see any severe storms. But the good news is by 7 in the morning, the back edge of this rain is going to be well to the east of us. And the clouds are still going to be with us. The roads are still going to be wet. The creeks and streams are still going to be swollen, even though the rain is going to be pushing out. And then we'll see the clouds breaking up through the overnight hour or through the daytime hours tomorrow. A little more sunshine. That will help the temperatures warm a little bit more too, with our highs getting into the 60s in the afternoon hours. Friday morning, chilly start in the 30s, most likely just above freezing here. And then through the day on Friday, mostly sunny, turning partly cloudy later in the day, highs in the upper 50s here. So that's close to where we should be for this time of year, so not a bad day for Valentine's Day. Saturday is when we'll watch another round of rain moving in early, but that won't be all. Late Saturday night and into early on Sunday, we have the next potential for rain and even some storms possible. We're keeping a close eye on that to see if any of those could turn severe. Tomorrow, once we get some newer high-resolution data in, we'll be analyzing that to determine whether or not we're going to issue a weather impact alert for Saturday night and into Sunday morning. So we'll have more on that during the day tomorrow. But you can see those clouds building in a little bit more later on Saturday. Rain comparisons showing an additional, now remember, this includes the rain tonight and also again on Saturday and Sunday. An additional 2 inches possible. Low temperatures over the next couple of days are going to be looking like this, with lows kind of up and down here, with the temperatures that will be in the mornings near freezing on Friday, and then 41 Saturday, milder on Sunday when we have that the showers and the risk for storms around Sunday morning, and then cold down to 29 on Monday. And then look at these highs, some ups and downs there too. Highs on Valentine's Day, Friday at 56, back to the 60s Saturday and Sunday. Then look at that on Monday. After starting off at 29 on Monday morning, we'll see afternoon highs near 48. Here's the forecast track showing that next system that'll be moving our way. You see the dry weather on Friday, Saturday a few showers. There we go, Sunday. Late Saturday into Sunday, that next system rides through here, and that's going to be the system that'll give us that potential for storms early on Sunday morning before that moves out, and then it gets cold behind that for the beginning of next week. Monday and Tuesday looking pretty dry, and then going into Wednesday, another chance for some showers. Snow well up to the north. We'll keep an eye on that system as it moves through as well. So here is a look at that 7-day forecast. I'll show this to you full screen so you can get a better look at that, where we have 61 degrees for a high on Thursday. Then you'll notice that the temperatures come down a little bit on Friday, with a low of 33 and a high of 56. Saturday and Sunday, we're back to the 60s, but there you see those showers Saturday, Overnight Saturday, mainly into Sunday, the potential for more rain and maybe some storms around. Then Monday, colder, down to 29 degrees in the morning with an afternoon high of 48. Back to 57 on Tuesday with partly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, watching that next system with a few showers developing on Wednesday with highs right around 55 degrees. We'll have much more for you tonight at 11 with live team coverage on this rain and flood threat and watching that potential for storms. That's on 11 Alive News at 11 o'clock.